Hey beautiful people, I'm Jennifer Kenny and today I'm here to talk to you about what's the difference between leadership and management skills. If your team isn't innovating, are you just managing and not leading? Managing outcomes without practicing leadership is a sure dead end. By the end of this video, I want you to understand the difference between management and leadership and understand how they relate to each other, and also have a good understanding as to what it is you're going to do to build your skills in both. So when we think about management and leadership skills, we tend to conflate them a lot. We tend to kind of smush them together. And by doing that, what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in a position where we get confused as to which is which, and we don't necessarily do either of them particularly well. For the purposes of our conversation today and for your thinking, I hope your thinking going forward, I'd like to distinguish between management on one hand and leadership on the other. Now, the interesting thing about these two is that if you are a great manager, you are also doing a certain amount of leadership. And if you're a great leader, you better be doing a certain amount of management. If you're an operational manager within a company, you are measured based on your ability to be able to get stuff done and to be able to get people to get stuff done. So you're managing against particular measures, particular directives, particular customer requirements, more than likely. If that is the case, what you're doing is you're in constant execution mode. Now, the deal with being in constant execution mode is it's really great because it allows a company to be able to extract an enormous amount of value from you, and it also means that the people all around you get taken care of and feel like you're the go-to person to be able to help them understand anytime something goes wrong or something changes or something different needs to be done. That's really management. It is getting stuff done through other people. If you spend all of your time in operational get stuff done mode, you become known as the get stuff done person, which is fine if that is all that you want to do. While you're managing, I suggest that you also need to be thinking about your leadership. So if you spend most of your day in an operational management role, take some time for yourself to begin to think about, what does leadership mean for me as a manager? So some of the things of what leadership could mean for you as a manager is that you begin to start thinking about the context in which you are managing. So the context in which you are managing will be determined really by the values of the company, who you're engaging with through your management process, whether it's external customers or internal customers, and how it is that you're going to be measured and against what standards. Invariably, as you start thinking about that, you're going to start identifying, if you haven't already, and I'm pretty sure you have already, if you haven't already, you're going to start identifying things that irritate you, that you know could be better. As you start identifying those things, start thinking for yourself about how much of an impact those things have on the people that you are managing. So if you're managing 20 people or you're managing 100 people and there's a broken process in there somewhere, or there's something that irritates you as the manager, there's a high chance that it has a domino effect impact on the people who are reporting to you. So say, for example, your reporting process to finance. So you're asked to deliver the financials for your group or the financial metrics that you pay attention to for your group. In other words, if you're in a service center, you're looking at what is the cost per call and you're measuring those metrics on a constant basis. You're asked to deliver those either to ops or to finance to get a sense of what is it costing for you to deliver the level of service that you're delivering. If that's the case, and you find that it's incredibly difficult, it takes you an enormously long amount of time, it encroaches on the time that you can spend with your people or that you can spend with customers, it encroaches on the time that you can spend helping your people or dealing with some of the tough issues. That is an area where you have an opportunity to be able to lead. That is an area where you can make a really strong offer from your perspective that nobody else can see, that is incredibly valuable for your boss to be able to go, oh, wait now, you're the person who actually understood the impact of the reporting process that we put in place and how it was encroaching on call center leaders' time. If that's who you are, then that's an offer that you need to be able to make. Now, you don't have to be heading up a call center to be able to think about what some of these issues are. You can be doing anything in an organization to be able to identify something that you as a manager find highly friction oriented and erodes a lot of your time and energy and effort. that's an opportunity to be able to take the lead. That's an opportunity to step up, to make a powerful offer to your boss. And I talk about how to make offers in many of my other videos, and to start thinking about what it is that I can do to improve that. Once you start doing that, you are now moving yourself into a leadership position. So you can see, as a manager, you need to also have leadership skills. Otherwise, you are going to stay in the status quo as a manager. So now let's flip over to the leadership side of things, and we can see the difference between management and leadership. As a leader, what I'm doing is I'm primarily focused on making sure that the vision of the company stays alive and that people are subscribed to the vision. I'm communicating that vision, and I'm also making sure that the projects below me are executed in alignment with that vision. So I might have 10, 15, 20, 100 managers underneath me, and my job is to make sure that they are in a position to be able to optimize the work of everybody who works for them. So as a leader, I also have a number of highly recurring processes that I need to take care of and need to deliver on. I have reporting processes, I have people management processes, I have project management processes, I have technical processes that all need to be taken care of. I need to make sure that I am managing my time and I'm managing my people effectively when it comes to delivering on all of those. So I am both leading and managing. As we mentioned earlier, the manager is managing and leading. My primary focus as a leader is to lead, but I am also managing. The more effective I can be at managing, the more time I can spend on the leadership skills and on the leadership work that will support everybody else in the organization. So the difference is, if you're a manager and all you're doing is managing, you're going to lead yourself into a dead end. If you've just been managing and you're not leading, chances are you are not creating an environment where your people can have any leadership skills or any autonomy for themselves. If you're a leader and you're not managing, the chances are that your organization runs on a high level of chaos, and you are not creating space for other people to be able to grow themselves and to grow themselves into leadership positions. And chances are that your hair is on fire and you're not actually growing and developing your own leadership that will allow you to be able to get promoted. There's one thing that both of these skills absolutely have in common, which is the fact that they are both practices. And the fact that you can choose which you want to learn and how you want to learn them and how you want to practice them. So as you see yourself either as a manager or as a leader, and you see yourself as a manager and you want to move into a leadership position, then I really encourage you to start identifying other leaders around you who you have seen are successful. So you don't want to go with the hair on fire people. You want to go with the people who have good management practices. They learned through the process of being a manager, and now as a result have built their leadership practices on that very solid foundation. As you do that, identify leaders around you and begin to think for yourself, what makes them effective leaders? What makes them valuable leaders? What do the people who report to them think about them? Doesn't mean that you have to go out and interview everyone. Just go and have some couple of conversations. Oh, I see you're working for so-and-so. How do you think of them as a leader? And as you start doing that, you'll start building your understanding. You'll start distinguishing leadership practices. You'll build your own understanding of what it is that you think is valuable in a leader. You'll also be doing reading and conversations and hopefully going to conferences as well. But this simple little practice of identifying other leaders who you know and respect and seeing what it is that they're doing in terms of the practices that they have and building lists of those practices for yourself. And again, it shouldn't be more than about 10 or 15 practices that you see that are incredibly useful and valuable. And you look at how it is that you are going to start practicing those yourself. So let me give you an example. You might be watching a leader in your organization give a fantastic speech that everybody was super excited about. Your question for yourself is why? What was it that that leader said that really lit people on fire and got them excited? Now, the common sense would be, oh, it's because we had great quarterly results and we're going to deliver amazing technical projects for Q4. That's fine. That's relevant. But what's much more interesting for you as you start thinking about how you want to build your own leadership skills and your own leadership capacity is to start saying, what was it that they did when they were doing that? Were they creating an opportunity for other people to contribute to the success of the work that they're doing? Were they deeply listening to their customers and as such produced great alignment between the products they were bringing to market and the customers? Were they doing incredible coordination with their counterparts in other divisions that allowed them to be able to bring fully integrated products to market? What was it they were doing that allowed this to be so successful, and why was it that people got excited about it? As you start identifying those practices, those are the practices you want to line up for yourself to begin to practice yourself. The same thing happens on the management side. Once you build your capacity to be able to distinguish, to be able to observe, and to be able to practice the courage to put those into practice yourself, you will discover that management and leadership, you start defining them for yourself, you start distinguishing them as being quite different, and you understand the interplay between the two, which is what causes confusion in the first place, and many people don't understand the difference. I've done a video which is called How to Effectively Use Both Management and Leadership Skills. It covers some of the topics we've covered in this, and I think that you will find it useful. As you develop your leadership and management skills, I'm here to support you, and I wish you the absolute best of luck. Thank you.